Take Three Wrestling Podcast. It is Thursday. I don't even know what the fuck day it is anymore.
23rd.
Yeah, that day of July 2026. We are out here kind of like Diego Pavia is out of a job. Sorry, I had to work that one in.
Somebody will pick him up in the UFL.
Somebody, the Cleveland Browns will probably let him start a game this year.
Probably. You ain't lying.
I mean, I heard that they're actually doing a charity thing. For $500, you could actually try out to be the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns at some point this year.
Wouldn't even shock me at this point with that organization.
I mean, questionable judgment as your probable starter. Shadur is your backup. Dylan Gabriel is still there, I think.
Is he? Did he ever get cut?
I don't think he ever got cut. Hold on, I gotta go look.
I'm gonna look that up right now. Let me do a journalism.
Yeah, you do a journalism while
no, he's still on the Browns, at least for now. Look at that.
For now.
Good for him.
So we got a chock full show tonight. We're gonna talk about what sells a pay-per-view, if anything. We will also preview AEW Redemption, as you can tell by the name of the show, Selling Redemption.
Ooh, look at that.
You know what they can't sell, though? The fact that there's a 0.0% chance that your main event ends any other way than Kenny Omega retaining the title.
Yeah. That's...
Sorry,
Whoa, did you see the new Rams jerseys that dropped?
No.
So they unveiled a yellow jersey, like a classic style jersey, and then they have a new white. It's like a white and blue jersey. I'm going to send a picture into our Huddle Up group.
For those of you that like to listen to me and Jim talk, Huddle Up podcast starting soon, Wednesday nights. New day.
New day. It's a new day. Yes, it is. Yes, because only one person is a guaranteed commit, and it's the other guy that's talking to me right now.
Huddle Up. We make you not feel like booty.
I actually kind of like both of these uniforms. Hold on,
let me. Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, those are pretty solid. Like the white is like a kind of a modern take on the classic white. And
my only fear with the white jersey and the helmet is what's going to end up saving it.
It looks like the Colts.
Yep.
Yeah,
the helmet saves it. For those of you that are watching on the YouTube, that is the photo that Jim is referencing. I like the yellow. I really like the yellow jersey.
The yellow's cool. It's got that like old. It definitely has that old feel to it.
It does. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I like it. Look at the Rams.
I will also say, and I sent it to you. Spoiler alert: somebody on this podcast and on the Huddle Up podcast has taken the Los Angeles Rams to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's not a take. It's not a take that's going to get you fired from ESPN. I mean,
no, that's just me getting a paycheck is going to get me fired from ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, God bless everybody who got canned this week. But Ryan Clark out here talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan. I would love nothing more than the Dallas Cowboys to be a legit Super Bowl contender. But in what universe is this? Do you look at this team in July and say this is the one that's going to be different? Like, there's nothing really about besides a defensive coordinator that you haven't even seen work in a training camp yet. You're talking about a team that had one of the best offenses, but yet one of the worst defenses in football last year.
As someone who is notorious for having a bad defense, I know how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, like there's just nothing about the Dallas Cowboys that says, yes, this team is a contender.
Okay, there's realistically there's one thing that says the Dallas Cowboys can be a contender.
And that is?
There's only 3 really good teams in the NFC.
Okay, well, that's fair.
It's the American League argument.
Okay, that's valid.
I mean, Rams, Niners, Eagles.
Yes.
Because you have questions with the Packers, you got questions with the Lions, you got questions with everybody in the NFC South.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Giants or the Commanders are teams that are playing for perennial contendership.
Did you see John Harbaugh addressing the locker room, the team? Not a soul in that room gave a shit what Grandpa was saying in
Nope.
front of him.
Nope.
I have never seen an NFL team care about what their coach is saying less than that video of the New York Giants yesterday.
Because there never has been.
That was unbelievable. It also looked like he wrote a Chat GPT script for an introductory meeting 5 seconds before he got up there.
He got Ernest E.J. Christian to write him his introduction speech.
But like, dude, that was because I'll be honest, when the Giants, with what they have on paper, hired John Harbaugh, I was like, oh, because like theoretically Washington should bounce back. Philly is good, and the Giants have a talented roster. They didn't have coaching, so I was like, well, fuck. Yeah, fam, I'm still all right. Like, I'm not worried about the New York Giants. Philly is Dallas's competition. Period.
Correct. I mean, you could say the Commanders, depending on what they do with a couple of different needs that they're going to end up having to address in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But also, the lack of having a wide receiver now again after Terry McLaurin is like...
Yes.
Because who knows what's going to happen with the rest of the guys on that roster. For more football talk, listen to Huddle Up Podcast every Wednesday night on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ding.
Official season 11 starting date will be coming out soon at Huddle Up Podcast on your social media platforms.
But I will say, looking at a couple of different pieces, and then we'll get back to the wrestling talk. It really feels like the NFC right now is the American League of the National Football League. Like,
yeah,
you look at the AFC. You have the Bills, you have the Patriots, you have the Ravens, you have the Bengals, you have
there's a lot.
I was going to say, and then you can even Denver, the Chiefs. I listed off 6 or 7 teams right there without actually like.
I mean, let's be honest. Like Denver, if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, Denver's in the Super Bowl.
99.9% sure.
Like they're, to me, they were better last year than the Patriots were.
Oh, and they just got better because they added Jalen fucking Waddle to that offense.
Right. So, yeah, they should by all accounts be better. But yeah, I mean, you look at the American League, and I like, we were joking about it a bit last night because the Orioles did finally snap the streak, but Boston's been on a hell of a run. But like, I'm sitting there at the All-Star break, and the Baltimore Orioles are 2 games out of a wild card spot. And the Orioles
5 games under 500.
Yeah, like the Orioles have been bad at times, inconsistent at others.
Yes,
and they are within a chip shot of a playoff spot. Like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, and that's gonna, August 3rd is going to become very interesting with the trade deadline. So these next 2 weeks, there will be teams that'll be playing themselves into sellers and playing themselves into buyers.
Yep. For sure.
So that should be a lot of fun. All right. So while we wait for Joe to arrive, who will be here shortly, a couple of news things that happened today.
I have a newsy bit.
Okay.
I have one. And maybe this is one of the ones you were going to touch on, but 1 year after relaunching Fight Nation, channel 156 on Sirius XM, as Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. It'll get revamped again this upcoming Monday, July the 27th, as WWE Radio. As part of the relaunch, channel will begin live radio. And man, you know what makes me mad about this? I said like a decade ago that something like this should be a thing, because I used to leave, and the reason I said this is because I used to leave counseling appointments Mondays at 8:00. When I had counseling, it would be up till 8:00, and I'm like, if there was a radio broadcast of Monday Night Raw, so you would hear the promos, and then you have a radio specific commentary team, man, that would be great. Anyway, part of the relaunch, channel begin live radio broadcasts of WWE's premium live events, starting with SummerSlam on August the 1st and 2nd, with radio exclusive commentary. I don't like this. Vic Joseph and Booker T. Select other events will also be broadcast on the channel, including Raw, SmackDown, NXT. WWE Radio will continue to anchored by SiriusXM's flagship wrestling show, Busted Open, hosted by Dave LaGreca, former WWE superstars Bully Ray, Mark Henry, and Nick Nemeth from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. weekdays. Other shows will include Sam Roberts, Not Sam Wrestling Live, Peter Rosenberg's Cheap Heat Live, The Heartbeat with Natalia, Off the Ropes, and Busted Open After Dark. The channel will also carry WWE produced podcasts at 4 p.m. So like your Cody Rhodes and Stephanie McMahon and The Undertaker, those shows will air probably on a rotating basis, because I think like what Talk is Jericho used to be on. And,
well, I mean, if they were smart, they would do one show. Like they would do, okay, Mondays is Cody.
Monday, right.
Yeah. If they were smart in that regards.
And they probably will.
I will say, I can't wait to turn on Sirius Radio and hear Booker T in my headphones go, "Shucky Ducky Quack Quack," or "Oh man, whoop that trick," and do the I like it. I might just turn on it just for Trick Williams' entrance.
I for sure will turn it on, because I'm curious to see, especially because these guys are used to doing TV broadcasts. Because here's the thing, there is a difference between a TV commentator and a radio commentator.
Oh, 100%.
Because radio, and you know this if you've listened to hockey, if you've listened to football, especially, those are or like basketball, those sports where you have to paint a picture because you are on a audio medium. You can't just assume that people know what is being done in the ring or on camera. So there's a big difference between radio commentary and TV commentary. And my concern when I saw who's doing the broadcast is that you have people who are used to doing television, and they're going to be produced like they're calling a show on television. And then to me, it will not work, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, no, that's a definite concern to have as someone who went to radio broadcasting school. There's two vastly different ways to call things. You got to paint that picture. You got to tell people right to left or left to right on your radio dial. Yep. and things along those lines. I'm concerned. Like, and here's the real test for me. Let Vic Joseph and Booker T paint me a picture of Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in the Cell.
Amen.
Like, if they can go out there and they can paint that picture to where I can close my eyes and see those two guys blowing up the side door of the chamber and busted out of it, like, all right, maybe we can make this work. But like, because you can call a singles match fairly similar, I feel, in certain spots. Your specialty matches, your war games, your Hell in the Cells, your Royal Rumbles, like, those are the ones that you're gonna have to paint with a little bit broader of a paintbrush.
Oh, for sure. Like it is a different mechanism, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I for sure am going to tune in. I do plan on watching SummerSlam, at least in portions. Do we know are they still doing it at like 6:00 like they've been doing?
I don't know. I don't know that one offhand.
I'll have to see if I can find SummerSlam 2026 broadcast time. Yeah, it says it's still 6 p.m. Eastern time start.
Ew.
I fucking hate that, man. The better chance for me watching it live on Sunday, I will say that. Although what the amount of Sundays I spend at Hershey Park, maybe not. But hey, maybe I have a new car with Sirius XM radio, so maybe I'll put it on the. I'm sure the missus will love that. Put it on the radio on the way home from the amusement park.
I mean, I will say, looking at the SummerSlam card, definitely going to be an entertaining show. Seeing how things play out.
Yeah.
But I have questions, and I think that'll be something that we can talk about on next week's show as we preview the Summerfest.
Yes.
Other news story: Janelle Grant, Vince McMahon going into closed door arbitration to come to a conclusion of the lawsuit against the group centered around Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. I know how the three of us feel. We've had this conversation on this show. I think we're all in the grand scheme of no, never. But right now it feels like if there's maybe it's right now.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like the way people are talking about it, the way people are discussing the end of the lawsuit and things like that, it just feels like if there's going to be a Vince McMahon return, the fans aren't going to hate. It's going to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that some of the grandstanding and posturing by fans and kind of hypothesizing some things, I will say that some of that is probably, not to quote the mortgage man, but rumor and innuendo. And it's just people that are taking a headline and extrapolating it into something that it's not guaranteed to be.
Mm-hmm.
That said, the fear is that WWE, at least tonally, as it pertains to with fans and journalists and all of that, the popularity or being on top of the wrestling world from a quote unquote PR standpoint, however you want to list it, WWE has peaked there on the downturn. Again, everything's circular in the wrestling business. AEW feels like they're gaining momentum. WWE feels like they're losing it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, whoever's actually making these calls, it feels like Triple H is the guy that is taking the biggest heat from all of this because he's the guy in the creative chair. So if there's going to be a change that's made, and now legally speaking, not morally or anything else, court of public opinion, legally speaking, he's kind of in the clear because now everything's done behind closed doors. There's agreements made from a legal standpoint. That kind of stuff is over. So if there's going to be something that's going to happen, it is likely to happen in, I'd say, the next 2 to 4 to 6 weeks, probably.
I guess I think it depends on how long it takes them to resolve this behind closed doors. Like, is there a world, and I guess, is there a world where Vince McMahon gets inducted into the Hall of Fame next year? Because there's a 0.0% chance he gets booed in Saudi Arabia.
Well, man,
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but like,
you got a good point because
he ain't getting booed.
He is not getting booed in Saudi.
when he was the
Because
one
he
that helped
will get
bring
booed here.
1,000%.
If they try to induct him in the U.S., by the way, hi Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hola.
We're discussing the arbitration agreement between Vince McMahon and Janelle Graham.
I gathered.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, because if they try to induct him in the U.S. and there's any fan presence there, it is not going to be pretty.
No, and a lot of the Saudi Arabian people are happy with Vince because he brought wrestling live to them.
Right.
You know, it feels like if you're going to get away with one and inducting him into the Hall of Fame at some point, Saudi Arabia feels like the play.
That's a great point.
Because if you're not going to put John in Saudi Arabia, which I don't think you should, I think you should put John. So you let Vince be the headliner of next year's class in Saudi Arabia, and you let John be the headliner the next U.S. based WrestleMania.
Yes.
Because I don't think that no matter what the agreement is or whatever conclusion this comes to, I just don't think that there's a world where Vince never gets elected into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he will get in it at some point. And man, yeah, Saudi feels like a great.
Just feels like an easy fix.
The greatest opportunity for them to do it. Man.
Yep.
But ultimately, and I'll let Joe give his thoughts then too, is I feel like it really is. And again, I'm hypothesizing. I don't know facts.
Correct.
But I feel like it is truly only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's when we see Vince McMahon back on WWE TV. Because right, wrong, or indifferent, and the WWE has proven they don't care if people are mad about what they put on TV. See Lesnar, Brock. As long as they're being talked about. You want to get a talked about moment? Here, tell you what. The Monday after AEW All In. You want to take the headlines away from whatever AEW does? Announce Vince McMahon is going to be on Monday Night Raw during SiriusXM WWE Radio Busted Open Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You steal the headlines. Good, bad, doesn't matter. They're not talking about AEW.
Yeah. Who cares who wins between Billy Goat and Twinkle Toes McFingerguns?
Yeah. And then I think there's gonna be some that are gonna have to that will make hard decisions if Vince McMahon is back on TV too. It's gonna be a risky proposition. I'll say that. You're gonna be talking about.
What if we live in a world where we get Vince McMahon, owner of Friday Night SmackDown, against Triple H, owner of Monday Night Raw?
Sounds like great fodder for Survivor Series.
But you have the people that are okay with Vince being on the TV. Wrestle on your Friday night show.
Yeah.
I don't love it. But like you said, there's no such thing as bad publicity in the fucking world of fucking entertainment right now.
Wrestling's a dirty business. It just is. Wrestling's always been a dirty business.
Real gross.
Why change now, right?
Yeah. Joseph, your opinion on VKM?
The only thing that I kept thinking of when you guys were talking about it just now, because I'm sure that once things have settled down, I was thinking about it for a second. I was like, will they, won't they? it's the same company that owns UFC. Yeah, Vince is probably going to make some level of an appearance or something. Here's my only thought, though. Only saving grace that we think we're going to have. Isn't the man like 80?
He is Vince
78, I think.
McMahon.
Because
Or
if
is he turning 80
he's
this year?
He will turn 81 in about
Okay.
a month.
so 81 years old, I'm not saying that I don't think that there's a possibility that he gets back involved behind the scenes. I'm not saying that I don't think there's a possibility that at the very least he gets rolled out on a Monday Night Raw and we get a promo from him. And like you said, just the news that Vince McMahon will be on Raw on Monday night will be, enough to catch headlines and have people talking. And even if he comes out and just waves his little hat and, that's the end of it. And maybe has a promo with Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or whoever. And we go on about our lives. But I don't think that 81-year-old Vince McMahon is going to be appearing on WWE TV on a weekly basis. I don't think. I,
Yeah.
I think that we're in a place where because of his age and look, let's face it. Like I don't know about you, but the last time I remember seeing Vince McMahon, he was taking the world's worst stunner like of all time and making us all wonder why is he in this ring right now. So I don't think that he's going to try to come out there and be a character, be physical, be all that stuff. I think he comes out the one time, gets the pop, and I think maybe they find a role for him backstage. I don't think that he takes over the with chief creative officer role that Triple H has or anything like that. But I think they find something for him. Maybe he's a consultant.
Oh,
Like
I would say there's no shot he's taking Triple H's job.
yeah, no. And the thing is, though, also like even if they let him back in the door, TKO has created their way of doing things that in their minds is completely successful. They're making money, they have their TV contracts, they're, selling the tickets that they want to sell. Like could they be selling more? Yeah, but that, is what it is. I don't think that they're looking to change the way they do things. And I do think from everything that we've heard that the way they do things is not the way Vince did things. So you're not bringing him in to let him run things his way, and you're not bringing him in so he can run things your way because he won't run things your way. He'll run things his way. So you're not bringing him in for that purpose. Like you're not looking to make that change in WWE's minds right now, in TKO's minds. It's not broken, so why would they try to fix it? So that's kind of my thought. Like I said, I think he'll be involved in some capacity. I don't think it's going to be in any kind of major capacity. And in terms of the Hall of Fame, you bring up a good point with Saudi. Like that's a good workaround. Get him in there. Um, I think there's a real chance that maybe they skip doing the Hall of Fame in Saudi. If they don't go the Vince route, I don't know who else you go with that you're necessarily comfortable with taking away from like an American audience, unless you do the Hall of Fame that weekend at MSG, the way you're doing the NXT and the AAA show and the Ultimate WWE WrestleMania 42 watch party.
I mean,
You add the Hall of Fame into that because I don't see why you do it in Saudi unless you're doing it as a loophole to try to get Vince McMahon in the door. Or you try to skip it this year because I think sooner than later they're gonna test the waters and try to skip a year and see exactly how bad that looks.
Yeah.
Because if they can get away with it, I think they get away with it, and then they're like, "Oh, cool! So this doesn't have to be an every year thing because we're running out of people that we can, strut across the stage and have them say nice things about us."
Is there a possibility? I'm just thinking this through that they do like they induct part of the class as part of the events in New York to get bodies there. But then they induct Vince in Saudi in front of the crew that's over there and fans that are there.
100%. I was actually going to say that. I feel like maybe you induct like the Hardys. You induct Ted Turner if he's not already in there.
Oh yeah.
You induct your Warrior Award winner, whoever the hell that's going to be this year. You know, maybe you put in a, you know, not Dave Bautista. You know, maybe you put in someone on the fence. You put in a match. Maybe you put in the TLC match, even though you can't get Legend Stoop to show up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, and then you induct Vince and maybe one other person live in front of the Saudi audience on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing that, and this is the one pushback that I've thought about Vince having a role, especially on television. No matter what the process is of them coming to an agreement and moving on, ESPN, the home of premium live events for World Wrestling Entertainment, TKO, is still owned by the Mouse.
Yes.
How are they going to feel about having him on there? If there's one thing that I think could stop him, especially from appearing on premium live events. Now, if you do the induction on SmackDown, that's the USA Network, a network that he's had a fairly strong working relationship with.
Yeah.
But is the Mouse going to be overly like, I'm cool with having this guy on my streaming service? I think that's something that we have to have a conversation about, because they've been very like, fool me once, there is no fool me twice. Like, you're gone. Fool me once, you can't fool me again.
That is true.
So I think that like that may be what stops a Vince McMahon full-fledged return. Also, not just him being 81 years old.
Sure.
That's
that little detail.
We can take that part out. I'm just saying the Mouse may stop any additional thought process in that, and that's something that I've thought about over the last couple hours since we've talked about this. But like him coming out for a 3-minute waving of his hands in Saudi Arabia, Disney goes, all right, cool, never the fuck again.
Right.
You know, but you get your moment, you get him on TV for, you know, whatever, you know, maybe you put him on the fucking WWE radio.
Yeah. And it gets people talking. You steal some headlines. Everybody moves on with their life.
Anything else on Vince McMahon?
Well, and I also, yeah, my last thought is I also think it creates a perfect scapegoat too, because now, and I think maybe part of the reason you bring him back is because now, when people disagree with the booking, whatever, you can skirt some of it to where people are going to be like, oh, well, Vince must have the pencil back now. So take some of that heat off of Triple H. But yeah.
Last thing before we get to our actual topics for tonight, Unreal Season 3 out on the Netflix right now. Wrapped up. I wrapped up watching it earlier this afternoon while I was folding some laundry. If you have not watched Unreal, because some people don't want the kayfabe, brother, others watched season 1 and were like, well, was this really anything that was, quote, unreal? There is so much more wrapped up in this season. I will say season 3 is the best of the 3 seasons by far.
Okay.
You get the AJ return,
Okay.
where she also discuss how she's making close to, if not the same money as husband and current champion of the world, CM Punk.
Oh, okay.
You get the Cody Rhodes with Randy Orton, Pat McAfee. You get a little bit of it behind the curtain there. You get the Obafemi, Bruce Pritchard sitting in their office going, we need to start calling some people up because we keep getting guys hurt.
Right.
You live the Seth Rollins fucking his shoulder up, the surgery, the recovery, the return. The Braun Breaker, he goes into how he ended up getting the hernia.
Okay.
You start peeling some layers back that it's vastly entertaining. And you also then the second to last episode is the first time in a long time being December of last year, the WWE made me tear up.
Is that the Larry stuff?
They open it with Larry.
I saw the clips on the like open up Twitter like during a break at work and like I just see Phil and AJ talking about the passing of Larry and I'm like, oh fuck no and
yep
God damn it.
And you also see the end of the John Cena retirement tour.
Okay.
You figure out where the idea came for Cody and Punk to put the titles on Cena's arms. There's an origin story behind that. I don't want to spoil it on air. I'll tell you guys off the air if you want to know. But there's
I did see that as well. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now.
This season of the show clears both seasons by a mile.
All right, maybe I'll just bypass season 2 and watch season 3.
Yeah, I was out on.
Do you think the reason why the season's better is because there was more real stuff happening? Because it feels like one of the issues, at least with season 2, and maybe a little bit with season 1. I watched most of season 1. I don't think I ever finished it, but I know I didn't watch any of season 2. But it felt like they were in a place where they were kind of doing some things behind the scenes that we all started to question. Like, is this real? Is this just for
Is this
Unreal?
real or is it for Unreal?
Right, like firing Ron Simmons and not Ron Simmons, Ron Killings and stuff like that. It gave right. It gave like, are they really doing this, or do they just need something on for Unreal?
Yeah.
Whereas it sounds like season 3, like the John Cena retirement tour is a very real thing. Like that you're being able to tell the behind the scenes of this very real emotional thing that was happening in real time.
Season 2 was centered around the heel turn. There was just so much about the John Cena heel turn in season 2 that I was just like, okay. Like, it's cool to find out some of this stuff like a couple months later, but like we also found out about it because John has said stuff on like interviews that wasn't mentioned in Unreal.
Right.
So it's like, at what point I'm like, all right. But like, you get the John Cena said that he knew Gunther was his opponent before he knew he was fighting Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza.
Okay.
So Gunther was always the guy.
Right. This was always the plan.
It was a plan for 80% of it from what John said on Unreal. But that's the cool stuff. Like that's the stuff that like, all right, cool. Liv Morgan gets hurt. They show her getting hurt against Kyrie, to getting her shoulder popped back into place, to her being like, okay, cool, I can wrestle now, and then being like, no, you still need to go get surgery. Like, and her return and all that stuff. Like, by far, I think, and maybe it's because the injuries. You centered this season. You had Seth get hurt. You had Braun get hurt. You had Bronson get hurt. You had Liv get hurt. Cody gets dinged up with the belt shot at WrestleMania. You see his whole eye get swollen. That's probably one of the coolest things of the entire last 2 episodes. Is them looking up and being like, "Oh fuck, he got fucked up."
Right.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's like they had so many real things actually happen that, like, it was able to feel real. You know, that's what it sounds like you're describing. That, like, this actually felt like behind the scenes making of the show, as opposed to maybe the other seasons felt more like they were trying to be that, but it wasn't really. It
And
wasn't really
maybe
hitting the same.
that's something that they learned. Hey, this trying to overproduce this ain't gonna work for this.
Yeah.
Let's just show people what's going on. But yeah. All right, let's get into the topics. We have redemption and we have selling of pay-per-views. Jim, I'll let you pick which one you want to start with and give us a quick synopsis.
Well, we'll close with I think previewing Redemption, because the other day in our group text we got on the topic because they had the SummerSlam kickoff event last weekend, and there was like 4 or 5 matches announced, and there was 5 matches announced, and Joe was like, "Wait, that's for 2 nights of SummerSlam," and we're like, "Well, yeah, but there's another week. They're just gonna announce the rest of the card over the next 3 episodes of TV."
They are up to 9 total matches as of this recording.
Yeah, and then there's still 2 episodes of SmackDown, 1 episode of Raw before SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
But to which I was just kind of which I think you had replied, that they'll just fast book it in the week leading up to it, and I was like, I mean, that's kind of what pay-per-view bookings become. Like even it has like a WCW feel to it. AEW's I'm sure there's when I initially pulled the card for Redemption, there was 10 matches on the card. I bet I pull this up now. Okay, there's still 10. There'll be more by the time we get to Sunday.
Don't worry, Collision was pre-taped. They'll probably announce a couple of matches on there.
Right. So that's just kind of the way it is. And my point was like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that in modern professional wrestling in 2026 that matches sell a pay-per-view card or a PLE card anymore. I just so what sells a pay-per-view? Is it that it's in your town within 2 hours of you? Does it sell it to you that it's a big event? Like, hey, I've never been to SummerSlam before. I've never been to a Royal Rumble before. Hey, it's the first WrestlePalooza. For Quebec this weekend, first AEW pay-per-view in Quebec. It's the first AEW Redemption. So let's go to see this one because it's the first one. To me, I'd almost feel if it's in my town and it's the first of an event, I'm more likely to go see it because it's the historic first one, versus the fact that Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito is on for the international title. I don't think that nobody's buying a ticket to see Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito.
Not many people are buying a ticket for Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight.
No, because who's going to win.
Like you're buying the ticket because Kenny Omega is going to be on the show.
Right, you're going to see Kenny Omega retain.
Yeah,
that's why you're buying the ticket, right? So to you guys, what do you guys think sells a pay-per-view? Is it just the fact that it's an event in a city? What sells with pay-per-view in 2025 or 2026?
I mean, I think location. I think location's a big thing. I think past history of said show. I mean, WrestleMania sells on the name WrestleMania.
Right.
All In sells on the name All In. I mean, I don't think it matters where that's located. I think it's just like those two are your premium shows for those companies. Now, maybe you have to announce that a Kenny Omega is going to be wrestling at Redemption or something like that. You may have to announce because, hey, I don't want to buy 4 tickets for me and my family to go to not see the guy wrestle that I want to see wrestle. Like, I'll still have a good time, but maybe instead of paying for $300 tickets, I'm going to pay for $100 tickets and sit in the upper deck because Will Ospreay's not there or John Moxley's not there. But I think at this point, and there are enough of us being the 3 of us, that have fought tooth and nail to tell professional wrestling fans across the world, you can be fans of both. But while there's enough of us, there are still many that are in the, and I hate this word, the cult-like trance of insert company name here. Either one.
Yeah, because it is both ways.
They'll buy a ticket if it's close enough for them to go to because they feel some type of allegiance to said company. Weird thing to sell. Mm-hmm. Weird thing to be a selling point of your show, but it genuinely just feels like at points, oh, I live in Canada, I'm going to an AEW show because I like AEW.
Right.
And again, the 3 of us have banged on the door for the last 5 years. You want to be a wrestling fan, be a wrestling fan. I'm not going to look down on anyone that wants to be anti-WWE. I'm not going to look at anyone that wants to be anti-AEW. I enjoy both companies for what they are. I look at AEW as a glorified pro wrestling guerrilla show. I've said it on this show before. But guess what? 95% of the time when Pro Wrestling Guerrilla put out a new DVD, there was like a 50% chance I wanted to buy that DVD. You want to know why? Because I knew I was going to be vastly sports entertained.
Right.
That's the thing. Joseph, where do you stand, my friend?
I don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but I'm gonna introduce a take here.
Okay.
A take 3, if you will. Ha ha ha.
Hey.
And now I'm like in a Will Smith movie. Anyway, because he always says the name of the movie.
I am Legend.
Oh, this is some kind of Wild Wild West. Anyway, I think the last wrestler to draw based on their name. So I'm saying here, people would buy a ticket because they expected to see this talent.
Stone Cold.
Yes.
Really? I was just being a straight up smart ass.
No, I'm 100% like dead ass serious. Because in like 1999, if you were buying a ticket to a WWE event, especially one that wasn't just a house show, if you were buying it to a Monday Night Raw, if you were buying it to a pay-per-view, you had every expectation that you would see Stone Cold Steve Austin. You were buying that ticket to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think that's existed since he stopped being a dependable person that would show up on various, like on a weekly basis. Because that's the thing. Once it got to the point where you didn't know for sure that if you bought this ticket, you would see Stone Cold Steve Austin, then it changed. And I don't think that there's been any stars since him that either A, you could depend on to that level, or B, the ones that you could depend on to that level that the audience cared about to say, I'm specifically buying a ticket to see this person. Because, yeah, if you bought a ticket to a WWE show circa 2006, 2007, you probably expected to see John Cena on the card. But were you really that upset if he wasn't for some reason? Were you really that upset if you didn't get Cena, but you got Batista?
Right.
Or, whatever the case may be. It wasn't the same level that people gave to a Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be perfectly honest, because I don't know which one you prefer. Do you prefer wrestlers who draw in a crowd, or do you prefer that just the company and the fandom draws in the crowd? That, you know, look, back in the day, people would argue that the reason that people went to pro wrestling shows was to see Ric Flair. Like if the NWA was coming through your town, or if the company that was your local company had Ric Flair come into your town, that was a reason to go see that show because Ric Flair was on it, or like the Road Warriors were on it, or like any number of people. If there are people that argue that that was a literal thing, a draw thing that would happen in the 80s. And, like I said, I think you could see an argument for Steve Austin in the 90s as that. I don't think that that exists in the 2000s. I think that Cena would maybe be the closest thing. And I don't think that there were that many people that were upset if John Cena wasn't on a card that you bought a ticket for, as long as your other favorites were there. Like this is the whole thing, right? WWE has always been trying to build up enough different stars so that when their one star isn't there, the crowd isn't upset because they still get the other stars.
Right.
That's been their goal.
They don't want the mega star.
Right. That's been their goal. Honestly, that's been their goal since the 90s.
Yeah.
Since you got The Rock and Stone Cold, like there's a reason why, like, yeah, I guess you could say they've even been trying it since like Hogan Warrior, like where they've been trying to have that solidified number two person. So like maybe they just finally got there, but they didn't even get there with just one or two. Now they're in a place where there's like four, there's five. Like, are you going to be that mad if you buy a WWE ticket and Cody Rhodes isn't on the show, but CM Punk is? Roman Reigns isn't on the show.
Jim was. Do you not remember? Jim was very upset. Jim was very upset whenever he didn't get to Whoa in Hershey.
It would have been like 2023. When WWE came through Hershey, because it was like a year before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
When like Cody was on that huge peak, like there was in like the post-COVID thing, and like Cody's back, and I'm like, I'm gonna get the Whoa. I didn't get the Whoa because Brock Lesnar fucking jumped him in the back, and he never played his music. So like that is like the closest thing that the WWE has had probably in
I will one up you right now.
What's that?
If you buy a ticket to Monday Night Raw and Roman Reigns does not make an appearance right now, they don't have another mega star on that show that you're like, well, I'm glad so-and-so appeared. At least on SmackDown, if you miss a Cody Rhodes, you're going to get CM Punk because they're wrestling each other at SummerSlam.
Right. I'm glad Austin Theory is here with Maxime Dupree.
Yeah. Like no Roman Reigns.
I love Maxime Dupree. Don't get me wrong. Boy, do I. But yeah, nobody's buying a ticket to see Maxime Dupree.
I mean, you're telling me no Roman Reigns, your main event for Monday Night Raw is Jimmy and Jay versus LA Knight and Solo Sikoa.
Right. Yeah.
But I got to see Danhausen.
I mean, the Danhausen's cool, like obviously.
But like, you're pissed that you didn't get to acknowledge your tribal chief.
Right.
And I think that's the closest to Austin to go back to the Austin
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if you bought a ticket during the height of the Bloodline build to a Friday night SmackDown, and you in some way, shape, or form didn't get Sammy or the Usos or Heyman or Roman in some way, shape, or form, and you're like, your response was, well, at least I got to watch Drew McIntyre. No, people were like, man, I'm pissed that Roman wasn't there, or I'm pissed that the
Right.
Bloodline wasn't there in some way, shape, or form. Like,
Right.
he's the closest on the Stone Cold Rock level in
Sure.
my eyes.
Sure.
But I will
I
say,
can see that.
but I will say in 2026, Joe makes a valid point. There's enough balance for the most part. If you miss a Cody Rhodes, which you get CM Punk, you're like, I still got to your cult of personality. I still got to
Right.
do all that stuff. Raw right now is the one where it's like, oh, Roman's not there. It's like, what's the next best option?
And that sounds like, honestly, a Raw problem. That sounds like a booking problem for Monday
You put
nights.
Obafemi
Yeah,
on that show, then you're
yeah.
telling yourself, cool, I got Oba at least.
Right. Oba is definitely a big option that they're building there, Because I would say this, I think AEW also has booked the WWE way at this point, where, yes, it would be nice
Except for
if I
Will
bought an
Ospreay.
well, but yes, it would be nice if I bought an AEW ticket that I got to see Will Ospreay that night. But if Will Ospreay is not there, but Swerve Strickland was, and Adam Page was, and Kenny Omega was, am I really that super duper like upset? Or do I
Right.
still feel like I got my money's worth? I got a really great Swerve Strickland match. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they have also done a really good job of establishing enough big name stars at the top of the card that you can get away with, okay, we've got like three of these guys out of five, like, so maybe it's not all of your favorites, but it's some of your favorites. It's like going to see your favorite band, and maybe they're not playing all five of your absolute favorite songs by them, but you got three. Like, are you really that upset? Maybe, because maybe your absolute favorite song is one of the two that they didn't play, and maybe that is a big bummer for you, Or maybe you're like, I got three out of my five favorite. I'm not mad, Like, I think
Yeah.
that really just goes to depend on how big of a fan you are of the thing that's missing. And like, yeah, so I could see the Roman argument where like Roman's not there, and particularly on Raw, like you said, because I think if Roman's part of SmackDown right now, Roman's not there, but you get Punk and you get Cody and you get Orton, and I think you're okay. You get
Mhm.
Danhausen. I think you're okay. On Raw, right? Roman's not there. You get Seth. Maybe you get Oba, maybe you get Brock. Like, yeah, like that's kind of a difference. Speaking of Danhausen, that's kind of cool actually. What you're showing us right now. But
That is
speaking of
his
Danhausen,
new action figure.
Nice.
I just have to say, part of all this, Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio being booked in a match on SummerSlam is one of like, it makes sense, but it makes me angry because like Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio are legitimately two of the biggest stars in the world of pro wrestling right now. They are. There's no denying that. They are selling merchandise, they are making money. People love to watch them. It makes total sense from that standpoint that they are in a match against each other at SummerSlam. But holy shit, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio is a match at SummerSlam. Like,
Right.
like there's zero scenario where we're getting out of there with more than a 2-star match. And I'm sorry to sound like Dave Meltzer for a second there, but like we're not getting a 5-star classic out of this. But it makes so much sense. That's why I was like, this is giving like late 90s WWE, like, B pay-per-view mid-card match where it's like, yeah, it absolutely makes sense to throw D'Lo Brown and Val Venus into a match together because they're both popular. But like, what are we actually doing?
Right.
Welcome to Raw has nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So Dominic Mysterio is now involved in a bottom of the barrel storyline. This match would have been a lot better if one other thing was involved.
Teeth?
The money versus the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah.
How funny would it be to see Danhausen win the AAA Mega title for a week at SummerSlam? And then someone comes and buys it from him for $20 in human monies.
Right. Fish in a barrel. That's easy. That's easy stuff.
Like, for what Danhausen is, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio can come back in and be like, here, you give me the belt back, you can keep the human monies.
Right.
Oh, okay. He just hands the title back to Dominic Mysterio. I'd laugh my ass off at it.
Yeah.
Like, it would literally be like, okay, this is fucking stupid. But it was fucking hilarious. I mean, to be fair, who's to tell me that this isn't a bookmark? Because what if there was supposed to be another match at SummerSlam involving Dominic Mysterio? Maybe defending that title against a certain Americano who just retained his mask, but is going through legal problems for what the fuck happened.
Well, there's that point too. Yeah.
I mean, I know AAA is doing their stuff now with Pero Del Mar, and the stuff that they're doing with them. Like, they jumped him, so like he hasn't been on the show for the last couple weeks, selling the injuries, aka being in America handling business.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's stuff like that. Like, maybe this wasn't supposed to be the SummerSlam match for the two of them, but we've gotten here now. And Danhausen's cursed every member of the Judgment Day, so we might as well have a wrestling to do with it. I mean, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio, to me, feels so much better than LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy, Jacob, and Jey Uso.
Right.
Like, I'm going to tell you, like, SummerSlam's probably going to be what? 13 matches in total?
Probably.
They got 9 announced as of this broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they still don't have the men's US title announced. The Vision aren't defending the tag titles, which means there's no Braun Breaker, no Kid Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no SmackDown tag titles. Don't worry, there's no Damian Priest versus and R-Truth on the show as of right now. Like, you're gonna get something added here. Like, at this point, give me a 6-minute Dominic Mysterio Danhausen match. I'm gonna love every minute of it. And maybe this is where we get big ass to return.
Maybe. We'll talk about SummerSlam next week.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there's no such thing really as selling a pay-per-view.
No.
Ultimately. But speaking of double-digit matches on a pay-per-view, this Sunday night is the very first AEW Redemption. It takes place from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I swear they're going to run a screw job on this show somewhere, but we will see where. We have 10 matches on the card. I will start here in a double chain tag team match. We have the Bang Bang Gang of Jay White and Juice Robinson taking on the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors. Joe.
Can we stop trying to make the Dogs happen? I don't feel like it's going to happen.
Who let them out?
Yeah, give me the Bang Bang Gang.
All right, Mike.
Powered by the left hand of God. Give me Switchblade Jay White and Rock Hard Juice Robinson.
Yeah, bang bang gang all the way. 6-way ladder match to determine the number one contender for the AEW International title. Jack Perry versus the Beast Mortos versus Commander versus Speedbag Mike Bailey, foot pervert, versus Nick Wayne versus El Clone.
This is the winner of this gets the winner of the
Fletcher Bandito.
okay. I was just trying to remember what title it was. Joe?
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all the people you said.
Generic Jack.
Jack Perry. Let's go with Jungle Jack.
All right, Mike.
He feels like the obvious answer.
He does.
So fuck it. I'm gonna take an unobvious answer. Give me. I mean, Mr. Mercedes Monet isn't a bad choice either.
Who's that?
The Beast Mortos.
Really?
Who else is in the match? 'Cause I want to take somebody off the beat.
Commander, Speedbag, Nick Wayne, El Clone.
You know what? Give me the returning from his excursion over in New Japan for the Best of Super Juniors. Give me old Nick Wayne.
All right, I'm gonna go.
I thought he was returning from his excursion to the prom.
I'm gonna go with the Beast Mortos. Singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Hikaru Shida, her, defending against Maya World. Joe.
You know, if you line 5 women up and asked me to identify Maya World, I could not.
I could not either.
So
Whole
with
world.
that said, give me the other one.
Shida. Mike.
I know what that one looks like.
My God.
Shida wins, and her next challenger debuts after the match.
Ooh. I have Shida as well. Who do you say her next opponent is?
Ex Lena Vega.
Ah, got it. Okay. Tag team match: Death Riders, John Moxley and Will Ospreay taking on the Bucks of Youth. Joe.
Give me the Young Bucks. Why not?
All right, Mike.
There's no way Will Ospreay is losing a singular match going into his title match against Kenny Omega. Give me the old Death Riders.
Who gives a fuck? Give me shot in the face. But I agree. I tend to agree with you. Either Mox and Ospreay are going to win, or it's going to be some sort of a screw job, fucking because they're in Montreal. Or
here comes the Don Callis family.
Double count out, some dickbag, cheap ass way to get out of this match. But Will Ospreay won't lose.
Correct.
Tag team match for the World Tag Team titles. Legend Stoop defending against the Death Riders of Claudio and Pac. Joe.
Yeah, I don't think Edge and Christian are losing in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
All right, Mike.
This one is where I'm hung up.
Okay.
There's a new member of the Death Riders.
Okay. I'll say this. He's not free out of his contract until
He's not. Oh, it's October.
Yeah, he's still under contract.
Because I was gonna say, this feels like this is where he debuts as a member of the Death Riders, and the bar reassembles.
Back together. Yeah. I saw this week that while he's finishing up, or he's finished with WWE, he's still under contract till October.
All right, so then Legend Stoop win. We get the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns.
There you go. Yeah, Legend Stoop win. Singles match for the international title. Everyone is barred from ringside. Everyone. Kyle Fletcher defending against Bandito. Joe.
So, like, they're gonna make the audience that's at ringside leave?
Yes, all 12 of them. Actually, this will be sold out well. But yeah. Everyone, it's going to look like the halftime heat from the night.
I'm in.
Sorry, my mouth is full. Food. Anyway, give me Bandito. I love me some Bandito. Give me Bandito.
All right, Mike.
There's no way you make Konosuke Takeshita a transitional champ to make Kyle Fletcher a transitional champ. Give me the proto star, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, love Bandito, but I'll take Fletch here. Good God, who asked for this? No holds barred match. The Painmaker Chris. First off, isn't the whole deal with Chris Jericho and why he's so great is because he doesn't repeat gimmicks?
You know, he's doing the best of.
Talk about an all-time retirement tour, bud. The Painmaker Chris Jericho taking on Tommaso Ciampa. Remember when Ciampa debuted and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, AEW World Title written all over him." Now
he won the TNT title
with fat ass Chris Jericho in front of Montreal. Get fucked. Anyway, sorry, Joe.
Well, I'm not going to take Jericho now.
I mean, you can. He'll probably win. That's the sad part.
Is Ciampa from America or is he Canadian?
He's American, I think, right?
Yes, he is American.
Then Jericho probably wins.
Mike.
Ciampa won at Beach Break. Jericho gets his get back. Give me the Painmaker.
Fucking.
I hope he comes up with that stupid face paint on when he's the Painmaker.
I guarantee he will.
Just so I can laugh hysterically.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, it's so stupid. Yeah, oh man, I'm so much happier he didn't come back to WWE. Singles match. Yeah, Jericho wins. A singles match for the national title. I'm not calling him the Painmaker. Mark Davis defending against Andrade El Idolo. Joe.
I'm going to cheer for Andrade.
All right, Mike.
Tranquilo.
Yeah.
Give me Andrade El Idolo.
1000%. This is an easy. This might be the easiest pick of the show that we have.
Second one.
True. AEW women's, well, that we've read so far. AEW women's world title. Tekla defending against Willow Nightingale. Joe.
I kind of like that the Tekla thing just keeps happening. So let's go.
It does. Mike.
I'm going to get one of these right, okay? This is my last formal debut that'll happen on this show. Okay. Tekla wins with assistance from the newest member of the Square of Sanctitude, Kairi Sane.
Okay, yeah, because she is part of the group that's free and clear now.
Correct. I would say that she would be Tekla's next challenger, but that's already been decided because whoever wins gets Mercedes Moné.
Correct.
At All In.
Yeah, and didn't Mercedes and Willow have a history?
Yeah, Willow's the one who broke her fucking arm in New Japan.
Willow's walking out as champ. I think
I absolutely can see it, and I could see Kairi possibly helping Willow win the title.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Coming back to defend Stardom because Tekla is shitting all over Stardom, and Kairi got her break in Stardom. Like, I could see it.
Yeah, I like that. And I feel like you need to. Yeah, I like that.
Willow, good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Show me where it is on the board.
Bing.
Ding.
Easiest match of the week, year, decade to predict. Singles match for the AEW World Title. Kenny Omega defending against Kevin Knight. So Kenny Omega's winning. Let's just call it. What is the percentage chance? And you can't say 0 that Kevin Knight wins this title. Joe.
When is All In?
It is August.
End of August.
End of August. Yeah, basically a
So you
month.
got like what, like 4 weeks in between?
Yeah.
Yep.
30% chance.
Okay. Mike.
Give me Twinkle Toes McFinger Gun with the wrench in the conservatory.
What?
To answer your question, negative 17%.
All right. I'll give
I don't
it.
know how we got to a negative, but we got there.
I like it. I like that spirit, bud. I'll give it a 7.265%.
Hold on. I think I have a better shot. Hold on. Let me. All right. So at Sacrifice, we have a triple threat match where it's a 33 and a third % chance, but I get 50% of Kurt Angle's 33 and a third. So that gives me 66 and 2/3. But Samoa Joe's a fat ass. So like that drops my percentage down to like 49 and a third. But Don Callis is involved, so that drops his by another 16.9%. So like 11.
Okay.
Steiner math.
I like Steiner math. I like a good Steiner
Because
math.
fuck Don Callis.
Yeah, well, yeah, eternally. All right, well that's AEW Redemption this Sunday on pay-per-view.
Speaking of them, before we get to the MVP segment, real quick, MJF gonna be on All In or no?
I
Or do you-
don't know. I haven't watched AEW.
I'll say, or do you just keep him away since he lost the title?
Unless he like attacks Andrade after Andrade wins the title on Sunday.
Makes sense. That would make sense.
That would make sense. Otherwise, keep him off.
Okay. Let me bring up the old spreadsheet. Joe was not with us for this segment last week, so I have to give him the breakdown because the giggity. So because you were away, Joe, me and Jim, wrestlers of the week have become stagnant. Sometimes we don't watch wrestling. I don't know that Joe's watched a premium live event since WrestleMania. So we're gonna go to the MVP of the week. I'm going to give you guys 5 nominees. We each get to pick our own MVP of the week. That one person gets put into the drawing for the MVP of the month. We go from there. So your nominees for MVP of the week.
Okay.
First, the new women's tag team champions, Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed of Fatal Influence.
Okay.
They defeated the team of Brie Bella and Paige at Saturday night's main event.
Okay.
Congratulations to them.
Congrats.
Your number 2 nominee, because that comes after 1. We're going to go to Monday Night Raw, because why the fuck not? The winner of your main event from Monday Night Raw this week was Jacob Fatu over LA Knight. So we'll give him the second spot. Number 3 from NXT, give me Tony D'Angelo winning the no holds barred match against Naroku, aka Evil. He retained the title in that match. Number 4, give me Mike Santana for making his NXT debut post match. And last but certainly not least, we will go to Dynamite, where Kevin Knight retained the TNT title against Darby Allin in 11 minutes to open up the show last night. So again, your nominees, Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed of Fatal Influence, Jacob Fatu, Tony D, Mike Santana, Kevin Knight. Joe, I will let you select your MVP of the week.
I guess out of all of those, I forgot which one I wanted to pick. Hold on. It was like the third one you said.
That'd be Tony D's nuts for.
Yeah. Let's go
All right.
with that.
So, Jim, you are up as Joe has selected Tony's D's Nuts.
I will take the Fatal Influence for the tag title win.
Let's see if I can type this right. I will double down with Jim here. I will take the ladies from the Fatal Influence for
Nice.
walking out of Madison Square Garden with the women's tag titles. Kind of surprised. Wonder if they're going to run that back at Summerfest, and maybe that's where.
Could see like a 14 gimmick.
But maybe post match, that's where Paige and Bree and maybe Nikki harpoons her way back in if she's cleared. Or maybe it's Nikki and Bree and Paige takes the step back and lets the sisters, and she's like in their corner.
Maybe.
Hell, give me Paige and AJ.
There's a little throwback.
Yeah, give me that old throwback of a team. All right, that's the MVP of the week. That's the show. Joe, want to plug anything before you?
No, I'm good.
Joe Movie Podcast, all one word.
Yes.
Cool.
What's your latest episode?
Don't remember. It's been a minute. We're gonna have to talk about the Odyssey soon because that was pretty amazing.
All right, Jim.
Yeah, 3 Count Thursday. We had a guest this week. First time in a very long time.
Is that why Ryan wasn't there? Is because he was just repenting against guests?
Yes, he was actually anti-guest. Ryan's on his way to vacation. He did end up popping in a little bit later on the show and joins us for the Tuesday show this week. But our old pal Samira stopped by, and we got to talk to her and catch up with all she's doing because it is a ton. She's doing a lot on the indie scene. So head over there, give us a follow, give us a like. Make sure you hit her up. Huddle Up Podcast. As I'm losing my voice. No new episodes, but we will be launching in August, season 11 on Wednesday nights, live. So stay tuned to all of our social media for that. Still haven't gotten a discussion with nobody. It's been a pretty crazy couple of months here. So hopefully I'll get around to doing one of those before too long. But Twitter at Big Jim Sports, hit the link tree. That's where you'll find all of my
Bye,
stuff.
Joe. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. The FKC Lounge coming to a Huddle Up podcast near you. We live, baby, live.
Live, baby, live.
Follow us there until next week, where we will recap somebody's redemption, where we will preview the Summerfest. For Joe, for Jim, I'm Mike. Till next week, stay safe. Good night.